By the way, so Obama now not only wants to appoint Hagel Bagel to defense to destroy the military completely and to make the world safe for Islam, he wants to appoint John Brennan to become the head of the CIA. I swear to God, this is becoming more like the show Homeland every day. Listen to clip 8 now.
Despite my long hair, my earring, and my obvious American appearance, I was welcomed throughout that country in a way that is a reflection of the tremendous warmth of Islamic cultures and societies. Like the president during his childhood years in Jakarta, I came to see Islam not how it is often misrepresented, but for what it is, how it is practiced every day by well over 1 billion Muslims worldwide, a faith of peace and tolerance and great diversity.
The man is delusional and a danger to our survival. The very next day, France had to send warplanes into Mali to drive the Islamists out. And this schmuck, this putz, who would be the head of the biggest spy agency in the world, tells us a faith of peace and tolerance and great diversity. The front page even of the Old York Times today, Friday, February 1, 2013. Top story. Timbuktu endured terror under harsh Sharia law. Militants hounded women, raised tombs, and cut off hands during rain. And the head of the CIA doesn't see it. I don't understand. If you don't understand it, have we been taken over by a foreign source? What the hell is going on in my country that a man would give such propaganda like this and he wants to run the CIA? What is this country coming to that he can get away with a statement like that? When the Islamist militants came to town, Dr. Ibrahim Maiga made a reluctant deal. He would do whatever they asked, treat their wounded, heal their fevers, bandage up without complaint the women they thrashed in the street for failing to cover their heads and faces. In return, they would allow him to keep the hospital running as he wished. Then one day in October, the militant Islamists called him with some unusual instructions. Put together a team, they said, bring an ambulance and come to a sun-baked public square by sand dunes. There, before a stunned crowd, the Islamist fighters carried out what they claimed was the only just sentence for theft, cutting off the thief's hand. As one of the fighters hacked away at the wrist of a terrified, screaming young man strapped to a chair, Dr. Maiga, a veteran of grisly emergency room scenes, looked away. I was shocked, he said, but I was powerless. After nearly 10 months of occupation by Islamist fighters, many of them linked with al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, the people of this ancient mud-walled city recounted how they survived the upending of their tranquil lives in a place so remote that its name has become a synonym for the middle of nowhere. Our lives were turned upside down, said Dr. Maiga. They had guns, so whatever they asked, we did. It was useless to resist. Pay attention, gun owners. They had guns, but the citizens had no guns. Pay attention, citizens of America. It has been only a few days since French and Malian troops marched into Timbuktu after heavy airstrikes chased the militants away, part of a surprisingly rapid campaign to retake northern Mali from the militants who held it captive for months. Do you hear what I'm telling you? Do you hear what I'm saying to you? This is the reality. And the man who would be the head of our CIA talks about the wonders of Islamic cultures. And he says anyone who says otherwise is misrepresenting it. But it's a religion, he said, a faith of peace and tolerance and great diversity. I'm asking you a very loaded question, which scares the hell out of me. With a pinko leftist anti-military appointee to defense and an Islamist fellow traveler going into the CIA unless he is stopped, do you think this country can survive? Or worse yet, I'll move it a step further. Why is Obama doing this? You want to go to the worst nightmare scenario, the most paranoid vision you could possibly have? Don't even call the show. Because I can't accept that that's true. I can't accept that he is the equivalent of the Manchurian Candidate who became president, and now he's going to introduce step-by-step, day-by-day, boiling frog analogy, Sharia law into America without us even knowing it right under our noses. Instead, we'll talk about the Super Bowl. We'll talk about alligator soup. We'll talk about the length of our skirts, the cuff of our pants, Lady Kaka's shenanigans. It's unbelievable to me how distracted we are by the sewer pipe of Hollywood. Now, that's why I have a little trouble in my head going to the Super Bowl, because my mind is on politics 24 hours a day. I have to turn it off myself. It's not easy to do. And I know that if I overload you with this, you'll turn the show off. Frankly, I know it's true. Yes, there's a hardcore band of listeners who know what's going on and they want to hear it. But the general American audience has said, after the election, that went on for 2 years, that campaign. I don't want to hear anything about politics. Tell me, Mike, about alligator stew. I'll be right back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282.